It's that time again. We are going to have a TBR prompt jar pick my reads for the month of April. I've had the TBR jar for almost a year now, and I think it's time for a bit of a refresh. I'm going to add some new prompts before we fully officially pick our books for this month. Our new prompts are a book with 400 plus pages, a book that's been on your TBR for over 6 months, a book that will make you cry, a book with an even number of pages, the last book you bought, a non-fiction book, a classic, Mom's pick, Angela's pick, a book with food on the cover, a book with alternating POVs, and a reread. Now that we've done that, let's pick our April TBR. On average, I read about 6 books a month. I'm gonna pick 7. I'm feeling ambitious because this month I read 8, but that is probably because I did the 24-hour readathon, which is my last video. If you haven't seen it yet, it's really fun. Okay, a book with an even number of pages. This is one of the new ones. I think the only way to check this is just to open every book, so time lapse.
One eternity later.
We are back, and these are the options. I didn't even look at the ones that are on this shelf that I haven't read, because this is already too many options. I'm kind of torn between the 7-Year Slip and This Is How You Lose the Time War, because I've heard such great things about this. I really want to read it. I've also heard really good things about this, and I really want to read it. I think I'm gonna go with This Is How You Lose the Time War, because it's kind of out of my comfort zone. It's more of like a sci-fi, general fiction, deeper meaning type book. In the ashes of a dying world, Red finds a letter marked burn before reading. So begins an unlikely correspondence between 2 rival agents in a war that stretches through the vast reaches of time and space. So that's like the sci-fi aspect. Red belongs to the Agency, a post-singularity technotopia. Blue belongs to Garden, a single vast consciousness embedded in all organic matter. Their pasts are bloody and their futures are mutually exclusive. They have nothing in common, save for that they're the best and they're alone. Now what began as a battlefield boast grows into a dangerous game, one both red and blue are determined to win, because winning's what you do in war, isn't it? So this is also a sapphic romance, which is fun. A sci-fi sapphic romance. Sign me up, you know? It sounds really, really interesting. It's really short. It's literally like 280 pages, and the cover, I love it. It's so pretty. Now I have to put all these books back on the TBR cart. That was a journey. Hope the next one is easier. Oh, Mom's pick. This is also a new one. I don't even need to ask my mom what book she recommends, because she sent me this message a couple days ago and I immediately bought the book. And the book is called, drumroll, because I also don't remember what it's called. It is called A Song to Wake 1,000 Sorrows. And this is a fantasy. So me and my mom have pretty similar tastes in books. We both really like fantasy, and this book is about a woman with unimaginable power, a king hellbent on ruling the world, and an ancient force that could mean salvation or destruction. The survival of a brutal childhood, Claire Brighton craves the kind of wealth and notoriety that will mean the horrors of her past can never again touch her. Main character's name is Claire. It's spelt wrong, but I'll accept it. With nothing but a battered guitar and a songweaver's talent, she comes to the capital of the Failhorn provinces, determined to gain her place. But there's another, more dangerous power that dwells within Claire, an entity she calls the Song, and it's ancient and fathomless. It is a power the ruthless Jackal King has long been searching for, and should he discover she possesses it, the cost will be far greater than her life. The song has the strength to save her if it doesn't destroy her first. Yeah, it sounds fun, it sounds dramatic, and it just came out. It's part of a duology, and so if I like it, I'm gonna have to wait a minute for the next book, but that's okay. Okay, prompt number 3 is... Okay, please hold. The universe is really out to get me with this video today, guys. Prompt number 3 is a book with alternating POVs. I have kind of decided that is definitely my preferred way to read romance. I've read a lot of dual POV books recently and I love it. I'm not even really gonna look at the TBR cart because I think we're going to go with Powerless by Elsie Silver. I was kind of planning on reading this month anyway, so might as well put it on the TBR. This is book number 3 in the Chestnut Springs series, and it's a small town cowboy-ish romance series, and this one is about Jasper. And he is a hockey player, and he's a heartthrob on TV, but to Sloane, he'll always be the lost boy with sad eyes and a heart of gold, the man she's loved in secret all her life. So I'm pretty sure this is childhood friends to lovers. So when her life falls apart on the day she's supposed to marry someone else, it only makes sense that he's the one to swoop in and save her. And when his world comes crashing down around him, she's there to return the favor. But the more time they spend alone, the more Jasper isn't looking at her like a friend anymore. He isn't touching her like one either. Jasper Gervais might act like he wants her, but after years of turning her away, he's gonna need to prove it. I so far have loved these series, and particularly the women in this series. I love that they're all really strong-willed and they don't take bullshit from these emotionally unavailable men. The tension and the banter and everything in these is so good, and it's funny and it's spicy, and I love these. It'll be interesting because we honestly know nothing about Jasper based on the previous books. Like, my man is a closed book, so I'm happy and excited to kind of get into his brain a little bit in this one. Prompt number 4 is a book by an author I haven't read. Ooh, okay. I honestly have kind of a lot of those. We could do Dance of Thieves or A House of Salt and Sorrow. We could do Dead Romantics or The 7-Year Slip because I just haven't read either of these, but they're both by Ashley Poston. I surprisingly have never read anything by Christina Lauren. I know it's a crime, so I need to get to this. Okay, no, yeah, there's a lot of options here. These are the books. I need to narrow this down. I'm thinking one of these. So there's Normal People by Sally Rooney. I've never read a Sally Rooney book. I honestly don't know if I'm gonna like it, but I'm intrigued. It's Funny You Should Ask by Alyssa Sussman. The 7-Year Slip, It's Back by Ashley Poston. A Touch of Darkness by Scarlett St. Clair. This was on my February TBR, and I think it's the only book I didn't read on my TBR that month. Love in Other Words by Christina Lauren. This has been on multiple TBRs. And then If We Were Villains by M.L. Rio, which is kind of like a dark academia thriller vibe. We have a romance, a fantasy, and a sci-fi fiction book, which is pretty good variety. Maybe I'll do If We Were Villains because this is kind of like adding to the variety. It's a mystery thriller. It's about a group of friends in college who were part of like the Shakespeare company, and 10 years later Oliver Marks is released from jail and the man who put him there is waiting at the door. Detective Colburn wants to know the truth, and after 10 years Oliver is finally ready to tell it. So a decade ago he was one of 7 young Shakespearean actors, and in the secluded world of Firelight and leather-bound books, Oliver and his friends play the same roles on stage and off. Hero, villain, tyrant, temptress, ingenue, and extras. But in their 4th and final year, good-natured rivalries turn ugly, and an opening night, real violence invades the students' world of make-believe. In the morning, the 4th years find themselves facing their very own tragedy and their greatest acting challenge yet, convincing the police, each other, and themselves that they are innocent. I've been wanting to read this book for a long time. We have 4 books. We're gonna pick 2 or 3 more. Let's see. A book with flowers on the cover. I think this might be the move. I'm gonna go with Throne of the Fallen. I'm very excited to read this. This is a spin-off series from Kingdom of the Wicked by Carrie Maniscalco, and Kingdom of the Wicked follows Wrath, who is one of the 7 princes of hell, which are based on the 7 sins, which is super fun, but it follows pretty much only Wrath. And this series is going to have a book for each of the other princes of hell, and this one is about Envy, who has never claimed to be a saint, but when a cryptic note arrives signaling the beginning of a deadly game, he knows it will take more than a hint of sin to win and save his falling demon court. Riddles, hexed objects, and anonymous players, nothing will stand in his way, though none of his meticulous plans prepared him for her, the frustrating artist who ignites his sin like no other. Camilla is forced to enter a devil's bargain with Envy. Together, they embark on a perilous journey through the underworld, from glittering demon courts to sultry vampire realm and beyond, while trying to avoid the most dangerous trap of all, falling in love. That's book number 5. Let's pick number 6. I'm on a timeline now because pizza is being made downstairs. This says a book with blue on the cover. Okay. Ooh, no, it's green. Can you tell there was a book that I wanted it to be? Star-Crossed, blue. Fairy Tale, blue. Dance of Thieves. I'm gonna say not blue. Oh, Normal People. Also blue. I think I'm gonna go with Normal People. This gives me spring vibes. I don't know why. I also just really want to read this because I'm very curious how I'm gonna feel about Sally Rooney and her writing, and it's pretty short. It's about Connell and Marianne, who grew up in the same small town, but the similarities end there. At school, Connell is popular and well-liked, while Marianne is a loner. But when the two strike up a conversation, awkward but electrifying, something life-changing begins. Normal People is the story of mutual fascination, friendship, and love, and it takes us from that first conversation to the years beyond in the company of 2 people who try to stay apart but find that they can't. I think she like kind of specializes in writing about annoying people that you surprisingly connect to. So I'm very excited and intrigued by this. A book with 2 people on the cover. We have Second Mate. Yeah, One Last Stop. I'm assuming that Betting on You has more than 2 people on the cover. 7-Year Slip and Dead Romantics once again. We have We Are Not Like Them, Funny You Should Ask, The Dead Romantics, The 7-Year Slip, Check-in Mate, One Last Stop, and Betting on You. I feel like I have to go with the 7-Year Slip because this has come up like for every prompt. So I think I'm gonna pick this, and I'm excited about it. And it also gives me spring vibes. I don't really know why. It's probably the color. This is about two people who live in different times. So Clementine West moves into her late aunt's apartment and finds a strange man standing in the kitchen. A man with kind eyes, a southern drawl, and a taste for lemon pies. Her well-laid plans begin to fall apart because he's the type of man who, before it all, she would have fallen head over heels for, and she still might. Except he exists in the past, 7 years in the past to be exact, and she quite literally lives 7 years in the future. Her aunt always said the apartment was a pinch in time, a place where moments blended like watercolors. She also said that love is never a matter of time, but a matter of timing, and Clementine fears she may be too late. I don't think I've seen anyone give this less than like 4.5 to 5 stars, so I'm very hopeful that I'm gonna love this book. And that concludes all of our books. To recap, here we have This How You Lose the Time War, The Song of Shallows, The Shallows of It's on the screen. You can see it. Powerless by Elsie Silver, If We Were Villains by ML Rio, Throne of the Fallen by Carrie Maniscalco, Normal People by Sally Rooney, and then The 7-Year Slip by Ashley Poston. It took us a bit to get here, but this is a TBR that I'm actually very excited about. I feel like I have a lot of good variety in these books here. And if you enjoyed this video, you can subscribe down below. It would mean a lot to me, and I will hopefully see you in my next video. Bye!